Can UX be done 100% remotely? At our first virtual UX conference, Jacob Nielsen shares his thoughts on the matter.
I don't think we can do the 100%. I think it's just not possible. I mean, there are many things you want to do for really great user experience that requires you to be out with the users, like home visits. I mean, we did a project called Life Online where we went to people's houses, sat on their couch. Those are things that right now, would be considered, no, don't do that, right? But those are necessary for some of the deeper understanding, for really creating the next generation of deeper insight, new features type of things. But if you look at it in the more short term, and short term can certainly be a year, that we can certainly do a lot of our work remotely. I mean, we can definitely do remote usability studies, but remember, user testing is only one of a range of research methods. We can do a lot of design and collaboration we can do remotely. I mean, even at this conference, we've done a lot of the type of exercises, whether journey mapping or all different other exercises. We usually do like big posters on the wall. We do them on remote instead, and it's worked quite well. So I think that in the shorter term, we can do a lot of our things remotely. And there's also some benefits to that. Like one of the standard advice, this should be the advice for improving programmer productivity. There's two things to do that are the best things for programmer productivity. One was send all your programmers a touch typing course so they can type better. And the second is give them an individual office and close the door, lock those guys up in isolation, and then they can crank out the code. Because interruptions are terrible for programmers. Now, designers are a little bit different than programmers, but there's still a lot of work that we can do where actually sitting alone, you can double your productivity. But then there are other things where honestly, all these tools we're having now are still not the same as being together. And definitely for research, it's not the same. So if we want to think about 10-year perspective or longer term perspective, where we want to have like these bigger advances happen, that I don't think we can do 100%. But we can, in the short run, a year, the current year we're in or whatever, I think we can do many, many, many great things. We shouldn't like stop. I actually think this is maybe also sort of point for us to remember is that, yeah, it's kind of sad right now and the world is in lockdown. I think 2.6 billion people are in lockdown right now, which is probably the biggest shared experience in the world, world history, except maybe watching World Cup finals or something like that. But so that's sad. But on the other hand, we need to be positive and say, well, but we can also still work. We can do our share, right, and make things better for humanity as well. Even if you're sitting in your own house, you can still do a lot of work. I also want to say one more thing, which is going back to this point that some of the user research really is better in person. If you've already done it, this is of course too late if you haven't done it, but if you've already done it, you build up this kind of bank of understanding of users, and you can kind of like draw from that bank and use it to interpret these kind of somewhat weaker things that we can do right now, and you're going to be quite well off. So maybe there's something to remember when all this goes away, is like, well, that becomes the time to go and do more of that research and build up your bank of user understanding that you can like kind of draw on if or when there's like a second wave and we all go back in lockdown again next year.